Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we are continuing with the theme of videos I recorded ages ago, and we are looking at what was update 1.27. For context, update 1.40 just released recently. But anyway, we'll get to that in due course. We're doing things in order, and yeah, in this update, a bunch of new cars were added. We will go through them all, as well as driving in all the new events. For this car, there was no real event that was, that this car was compatible with, so I just took it for a few laps around Sardinia Windmills, and it was quite fun to drive. I do enjoy rally driving, I'm just not very good at it, so yeah, that's why I always struggle with it in the races. But just doing a few laps with this car, yeah, it was quite fun to drive, and it sounds really awesome as well. The way it pops and crackles when you're off throttle sounds really cool as well, as it makes the popcorn in the back of it. But anyway. Yeah, that I think is enough about this car. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the first race we're going to do actually doesn't come from this update. There was just one race left in the entire game that I hadn't completed prior to this update, that I obviously just missed at some point, and that is the European FR Challenge 550 race at Brands Hatch. So this is going to be a very quick one. We're using the Need for Speed liveried BMW that appeared in the Bathurst 6-hour video all that time ago. But anyway, we get going for this one. We absolutely send it into the first corner a little bit too fast. Don't quite keep the car on the road, but hopefully we should be able to still make good progress through the field on this first lap. We try and sneak to the inside, barge our way through a little bit at turn 2, bit of a swapper on the exit. We managed to catch it, and now we head down into turn 3, into the middle of the telephone half of the circuit, and it looks like our pace in this race is pretty good. Bit of rally driving there as well in the BMW, just in case we hadn't quite had enough earlier in the video. And now we head up the hill and into the box section of the circuit, and we are making fairly rapid progress through the field. Only 3 laps this race, so we do need to be fairly swift with these overtakes, not waste too much time, and yeah, see if we can make our way up the field as we make the move down the inside. And that is a nice move there, up another position into 8th, now into 7th position, as we had a good straight line speed there. And every corner around this box section of the circuit is just a little bit different to the others, so it is it's not simply 4 or 3 rather 90-degree corners. I guess it is 4, the last one just turns left instead of right. But anyway, we continue on, and we may move ourselves up into the top 5 before the end of the first lap. We just about get there as we come across the line to start lap 2, and now we have just 4 cars left in front of us. This shouldn't be too difficult. We are making the progress that we need to be able to make our way to the front of the field by the end of this race. This BMW is very nice to drive, as you would expect from a BMW M3. They've always been enjoyable cars to drive in the various different video games that have included these cars over the years. But anyway, with just 2 cars left in front of us, we are moments away from getting to the lead as we try to get the run up the hill. And as we head back into the box section, the 2 in front, the race leaders, starting to battle away a little bit, maybe looking for the move down the inside. We're not going to buy into that just yet. We'll all go single file into the right-hander, and now we'll see if we can get a nice bit of momentum on the exit down the inside, and that is a job done. Move ourselves up into 2nd position. Just 1 more to go, and that will be the race lead for us. We picked the outside. That wasn't ever going to work. We had to quickly abandon that move as the edge of the circuit quickly approached. The road bends slightly to the right on entry to that corner, which almost caught us out there. But anyway, good run on the exit of the left-hander, and as we head into the final corner, that's an easy move down the inside, and we take the race lead with a lap to go, and this should be easy to maintain from here. So we continue on, we push on to the end of the race, pull away from the field behind, and now we come around the final corner, a little bit off the edge of the circuit there, gave us a bit of a slide, but nonetheless we come across the line now to take a race victory here at Brands Hatch, and we can now continue on to the actual events that are relevant to the update. But that was just one last thing we had to get out of the way. So we move on now to the European Clubman Cup 600, and you know, we're moving on to slightly faster cars. The car we have for this event is the Alfa Romeo Giulia GTM. I have no clue how to pronounce either of those things. But yeah, is it GTAM or GTM? The lowercase m is throwing me off. Anyway, we are driving at the Nürburgring for this one. 2 laps of the Nürburgring Nordschleife, so actually a fairly long race given the length of this circuit, of course. So we have a bit of work to do as we make an absolute mess of that section of the track. But anyway, we'll manage to find our way through, and we're up into just 18th position so far. A field of 20 cars, so this is a pretty big event. You know, relatively long race. 2 laps of the Nürburgring, 20 cars on the track. We are, you know, left with plenty of work to do. Thankfully, due to my you know, recent Nürburgring 24-hour video, I actually have quite a lot of practice at this circuit, and that is definitely going to help, because now I actually do know each of the corners on this circuit, not by name, but I do know, you know, what to expect around each one, which is not something I could have said before doing that 24-hour race. But anyway, we continue to push on, and we are, you know, gaining positions fairly rapidly. You can see we have great straight line speed versus the midfield as we move ourselves up into 13th position, but there is one car further up that we really do need to worry about, and it is the other Alfa Romeo, the same as ours, that starts much closer to the front of the field than us, and they have amazing straight line speed. We're probably better in the corners, but yeah, in upgrading this car, you can see in the bottom left I chose to use the sports soft tyres. Everyone else is probably on sports hards, I would imagine. That tends to be the way things go in these races. So, you know, I tended to focus more on the handling, having to race this car at the Nürburgring. But, you know, we can't forget there is that massive straight at the end of the lap. So, you know, there's a balancing act, and we've gone in different directions to what will be our main rival once we find our way through the field. I'm saying all this because this is not my first attempt at this race, so you know, just to clarify what was happening in the previous ones, we found ourselves in trouble trying to catch the race leader when they were just too fast in a straight line. But if we can have a clean race, get through all the other cars as quickly as possible. That's a Lamborghini Miura. Kind of interesting to see that amongst this field of cars. But yeah, if we can have a clean run, I imagine we should be able to get to the lead. But anyway, we're up now into 7th position, and we will very soon find ourselves in the top 5 if we can clear these two, as we're just looking for the opportunity at the moment, but no way through for now. Eventually we'll get to a section of road straight enough. There's actually 3 cars there, and now we're beginning to fight our way through down the inside, and that's a little bit late on the brakes. I had to slide it around to get the car turned there, but regardless, we managed to move ourselves up into 4th position, and as we continue to push on, 3rd place now right in front of us, so we're almost on the podium as we get a nice run on the exit. They missed the apex there, and that's easy move up into P3. And to talk about this car itself, this car is amazing. I really enjoyed driving it. To come to Nürburgring, a circuit, I said I know it fairly well now, but the matter of fact is, coming here in a new car is never going to be particularly easy. And yeah, this car just handles this circuit so well, and is very fun to drive. So yeah, I really enjoyed this car, and is probably one of the better cars in my opinion from the update. And I should probably drive it some more, because yeah, it's I feel like it's going to be a bit of an underrated car. I don't really know how popular Alfa Romeo are as a brand, but yeah, for me it's definitely kind of underrated, I suppose, because not a car I would have expected to enjoy so much. But anyway, as I've been blabbering on about all that, we've slowly been closing up to 2nd place, and pretty soon we should be able to move ourselves up into that position as we close in. And now we just need to look for a space as we try and look to the inside of this long right-hander, a little bit of a bump, and we will nudge our way through and up into P2 as we begin the long straight. And you can see we have better straight line speed than the entire field behind us, but as you'll see throughout the ensuing battle, as we move on to getting close to the end of the race now, really, it's considerably darker, and we are trying now to chase down the race leader. They're right in front of us, but they're very quick in a straight line, which makes it quite difficult to close that gap. You can see it here, how they're just pulling away fairly quickly along these flat out sections, and it's only through going absolutely full send through each corner that we're able to catch up any time. So it's been a bit of a grind to get to this point, and we've only got a few corners before the long straight, so we do need to get this move done sooner rather than later if we want any chance of winning this race. Down the inside into the 2nd carousel, and that's job done. We take the lead, and now we just need to try and hold on to it, but that is once again easier said than done, because as you'll see, that car is super fast in a straight line. So out of the right-hander we come. We've got a bit of a gap that we managed to pull through that corner, but look at that speed difference, and they are closing in so quickly. We move across the block, otherwise they're going to be 300 meters up the road by the other end of the straight, maybe more. It is that ridiculous. We're absolutely holding them up here. They've got so much more speed potential than we do, but we are just about covering them off. A little bit cheeky, I will add, but nonetheless we're doing it, because this is a long race, this one. I don't want to have to do it all over again. So we managed to hold them off. Bit of a slide through the little S-bend at the end of the straight, but we managed to catch it on the wall, and we navigate the last few corners, and this will be finally race victory in this event. It's a long one. We come across the line to take 1st place, and we hold off the other Alfa Romeo just about to the end there. But there you can see the straight line speed difference. The car even sounds different, very different. So that indicates that they've potentially done some exhaust upgrades or something like that to do that. But anyway, that's job done in this race in the European Clubman Cup 600. So now we can move on to the next one, the American Clubman Cup 700. So here we go. As we get ready, this time we're driving a Corvette C8, another new car from this update, and we'll see how this goes. We're at Mount Panorama for this one, and well, the straight line speed of this car is immediately apparent, versus the back markers in this field. 16 cars in this race. You may have also noticed we're going in order of speed, so you know we did the 550, what is it, the European FR 550, and then we did the 600, now we're doing the 700, and the speed will keep building throughout the rest of the video. But anyway, as we wind our way up the mountain for the first time, we've gained a few spots up into P12 of 16, so a bit of a smaller field, 5 laps around Bathurst, so a little bit shorter than the Nürburgring race probably, but still it's going to be a lot of work for us to do as we try and fight our way through the field. You can see even across the top of the mountain where there is the high-speed corners are, we are still able to use the straight line speed of this car, as we have a big old wobble off the road there. That was a bit clumsy. Let's get moving again. We've dropped a few spots back now down into P12 once more as we head over Brock's Skyline down into the S's now, and we'll see if we can gain a couple of these places back as we see our much older counterpart in front of us. We'll just about sneak through, and that is a job done into Forest Elbow. Now we'll see if we can get a run on the exit on the kind of Corvette Grand Sport like design there, and we'll get that move done easily. And this is going to be another 1 overtake on the straight, another 2, another 3, another 4, 5 if you include the Corvette. And yeah, this is stupid fast, this car. It's ridiculous. Maybe we'll be able to make it 6 by the time we get into the apex of the chase. We go a bit deep, but we just about managed to pull it up, and that is 6 overtakes in the length of Conrod Straight. That is utterly ridiculous how quick this thing is in a straight line. It doesn't necessarily struggle in the corners. I'm you know, coming off, you know, driving a BMW and the Alfa Romeo, which both handled really well. This car, not so much. It doesn't handle quite as good, but still it is quite fun to drive. And yeah, you just need to anticipate the bit more understeer that you would get from this car. And oh, there's the front wheels off the ground as well as we head over the little hump on Mountain Straight. Big lunge down the inside. That's 3 places gained up into 2nd position, and we've got just 1 more, and we'll move ourselves into the race lead. The speed of this car is insane. In just over a lap, we've taken the leading. If we didn't go off the road at McPhillamy, we might have been able to get there in the first lap alone. But anyways, we continue on. Bit of a moment on the inside curb at the chase. Tried to carry the speed through. Didn't work out for us very well, and we ended up slamming the wall. So that cost us a bunch of time, and actually dropped us into 2nd position as the other Corvette in this race. Another Corvette C8 made their way past. So now we've got all the work to do once again, and this Corvette quite fast in a straight line as we head into turn 1. We've got a slight edge in the corners, but as you'll see here on Mountain Straight, they just disappear. I don't know how much extra horsepower they have, but it's a lot as they rocket their way up the hill. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if their car's lifting off on the front wheels up the hill as we go for the big lunge down the inside, and we'll get that move done. Yeah, I don't know if they're having the front wheels lift off the ground at the speed they're doing. They surely must. As we go for another slide off the road this time, we put a much bigger effort into getting the car stopped before slamming the outside barrier, and we lose a lot less time. On this occasion, we don't lose the race lead to the other Corvette, which, as I mentioned, is a rocket ship in a straight line. I should have actually checked what the top speed of it is, but it is ridiculous how quick that thing can go. We move on to the final lap now as the sun is setting here at Bathurst, and we finally figure out how to make it through the chase once more. And that is going to be another race ticked off the list. Another car driven from the update, and yeah, this one not as fun to drive as the Alfa Romeo or even maybe the Celica, but still very, very quick, especially in a straight line, so cannot fault it for that. But anyway, let's now Actually, there's one more thing we need to look at Bathurst and this race event in particular, because I did try this in a different car originally. I tried it in the DeLorean, but the funny thing about this car, I've engine swapped it, so it's got a ton more horsepower, and well, if you thought the Corvette doing wheelies was a bit wild, this car takes it to a whole new level as we head up Mountain Straight. I guess the softer, old suspension in this car, might play a role in it. I don't know. I should maybe mess around with tuning and see if I can, make the best wheelie car. But yeah, it's quite ridiculous how high the wheelies get. And what's crazy, we actually do it on Conrod Straight as well, by the way, but it actually used to be a lot more extreme than even this, and I have a few clips of it. I didn't record the race itself, but I did record a few clips from the replay, which I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, this car, it likes doing wheelies, and if you're not straight and you end up, drifting off the road or anything, you will end up having a big crash. So, yeah, that happened, and that's how that race ended. Look at the ground clearance as well. I don't know if that affects it, but there you can see off board the wheelies it can pull on Mountain Straight. And here it is on Conrod Straight. Not quite as extreme, but anytime you don't have the front wheels on the ground, is an opportunity to lose control if it doesn't land quite right. So yeah, it is definitely a challenge to drive this car, because it's not just those two spots. That's where it can do the wheelies, but it's unstable around the whole track. So it's an interesting car to drive. That was a pretty good one. But yeah, as I mentioned, the wheelies used to be much higher, and this is what I mean. We were wheeling for a good few seconds there, down Conrod Straight. The Mountain Straight one, much the same. Didn't wheelie for quite as long on that occasion. But yeah, it is just insane. And another thing, when you've got the front wheels off the ground, you can't steer. So in this situation, I was very close to a collision course with the Viper, but we collided with the wall instead. But yeah, okay, there's the collision with the Viper. But yeah, here's a few photos before the update that changed the physics. I don't know why or how it changed, but there is what it looks like after in those two spots. So yeah, I don't know why the physics changed and why it doesn't wheelie as high as it used to, but that's a thing now. But it's still pretty cool. So yeah, the DeLorean, amazing wheelie car. Anyway, you just saw a moment ago, we're getting now into the Bugatti Chiron. Yet another new car in this update, and we actually, before we even get started, we have a couple of upgrades we can apply to this one. We can apply the Stage 5 weight reduction, which removes over 600 kilograms of weight. It's just, I mean, it's almost a third of the weight being taken out of the car, which is utterly ridiculous, but I guess that's what you would expect from something that says Stage 5. And the other one we're going to do is the Ultra High RPM Turbo, which adds more than 200 horsepower. And again, this is just ridiculous. That's like adding another small engine to the car. Not even a small engine, just like a decent engine to the car. That's more than, your average road car. And we're just adding that with a special turbo. It's ridiculous. So what is already a very fast car is going to be pretty insane. One thing I didn't do, because we did those upgrades, is I didn't upgrade the tires on this car, and oh goodness me, we've found a way to crash in the first 5 seconds of the race. That's brilliant. But we're doing the Hypercar Parade race here at Monza, by the way. But to finish my point from a moment ago, I didn't upgrade the tires because I figured with those two upgrades, this car would be more than fast enough to complete this event. So it does struggle a little bit in the corners, because we are still on those sports hards. If I did buy the sports softs or racing tyres, it would be a little bit nicer to drive. So that may have skewed my sort of perspective on this car a little bit, because it is, I mean, it's still a Bugatti. It's an absolute boat in the corners, and a rocket ship in a straight line. Is kind of what Bugattis tend to be, except for maybe the VGT. But anyway, we making our way through the field. We absolutely just blew past the Veyron a moment ago, like it was, I don't know, a Ford Focus. You know, it's ridiculous how quick this thing is. The acceleration out of the corners is just incredible. So yeah, it's I wouldn't say as fun to drive as you know, the Alfa Romeo, which I'm, you know, still maintaining as my favorite car from this update. But it's a Bugatti Chiron. It's incredibly quick, and it does well, we'll see what it does on the straights at Monza. I think this is the highest speed part of the circuit now that we are coming up to. We'll see what kind of top speed that we can get to. 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360, 370, almost do the 380s, maybe just briefly. So that is, I mean, around a circuit, that is ridiculous speeds. Anyway, we continue on through the race, focusing now on the race itself. We're up into 7th position. We have a little bit of a whoopsie at the Ascari chicane. As I said, it does struggle with the corners a bit, and you know, I'm used to driving this track in an F1 car, so moving from that to a Bugatti Chiron does take a bit of getting used to. But anyway, with a straight line speed, we move ourselves up into 4th position, and we basically just have to survive the corners, just roll through them fairly slowly, and build up the speed once again once we get out the other side. It doesn't really matter that we have to go through the corners quite slowly, because it builds up the speed so quickly. And as we continue to push on, we'll make a little move down the inside into the first Lesmo. We're now up into 2nd position, and you can see struggling a little bit through the corners still versus these cars towards the front of the field. There's another Bugatti Chiron there, so we'll be able to see a direct comparison between ours and one that is presumably standard or has, you know, more limited upgrades. And we just blow straight past after hesitating for a brief moment. We built up that speed again straight away, slightly deep into Ascari as we were... holy cow. So, yeah, I have no clue what that sound was, to be honest, but anyway, we're going to pretend that was nothing, even though that was very loud, and move on to the end of the race. Nothing more much happened in this one. We'll bring around the final corner, and we will take the Bugatti Chiron to victory here at Monza. Absolute monster of a car, this one. So much power, and that's about it. That's all it's got. But definitely a unique driving experience, that's for sure. So yeah, that is that. You know, considering I was on the sports hard tyres, it actually had fairly good traction. It didn't turn, but the traction didn't feel too bad. But anyway, with that race now in the books, we can move on once again to the final car, and we're actually returning to exactly the same race. This time we're going to be driving the Ferrari VGT, the final car that was added in this update, and this thing is crazy. It has got so much grip. For some reason we're allowed to use it in this hypercar race, but yeah, it is just a very fast car. And I mean, you'll see that we're on the racing hard tyres for this one. I presume that's the tyres I came with. Actually can't remember, but yeah, it's ridiculous. It's got the straight line speed, and it has some of the cornering speed to match. So you know, a much more well-rounded car. But of course, it is a VGT, not a real-life car. So to some extent, you know, they can do what they want with it. But anyway, we are, you know, rapidly making our way through the field, already up into 10th position, and that's going to just continue to climb as we... Actually, does the position climb or drop? Because the number gets lower, but we're climbing up the field. There's one of those interesting little thingies. Anyway, we're up into 8th position now, soon to be 7th as we just about skim past that Porsche there. That was very close to being heavy contact. I think we just may have grazed them on the way through, but yeah. Well, we are already up into 6th position by the time we finish. We're going to be even higher by the time we finish the first lap. There's another couple. We're up into 3rd by the end of the first lap. That is insane. This car is clearly too fast for this event, but regardless, we're going to make the most of it as we hit the brakes into turn 1 a touch too early, and then we have to kind of do that awkward crawl through the corner when you realise you get your momentum all wrong. But anyway, we are on the exit, accelerating once again, 1 position, and up into 2nd. We might be able to get one more by the time we get to the Della Roger chicane. That might be a bit ambitious, actually. We're going to go for it late on the brakes down the inside, and we don't quite get it stopped. We'll just clumsily hop over those chicanes, and we leave the field behind as we will now push off into the distance. The Ferrari is incredibly fast and quite a fun car to drive too, but clearly just a bit too fast to have a competitive race at this event. Also, it's on the racing hard tyres, so that might be a major contributing factor compared to the Bugatti Chiron, which, to be fair, got through the field very quickly as well. But anyway, that is a race victory here at Monza in the Ferrari. The crowd will be loving it. But anyway, yeah, that is job done, and that is all the cars we've now driven, all the new cars in the update, completed all the new events. So I think it's time we now just look to a menu book, and we will finish off the episode with that. So which one are we going to read? We are going to look at Bugattis, given that we just drove the Chiron, and yeah, we'll get a 6-star roulette ticket for this one. Congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes the Bugatti collection. Once you've collected your present, your rewards rather, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. Collection Bugatti completed. And there is our 6-star roulette ticket. And now let's see what we can learn about these cars. Headquartered in France, Bugatti is a truly unique brand, the very name of which is nothing short of legendary. Part of its appeal is a strong association with the most elegant and high-performing cars in the world. Born into an artistic family in Milan, company founder Ettore Bugatti was a skilled mechanical engineer. In 1909, he established an automaking company in Molsheim, now part of the Alsace region of France. Building many excellent road and race cars, he steadily put his brand's reputation. The Bugatti Type 35 from 1924 is a perfect example of Ettore's craft. Among his 1,000 plus wins were 2 straight wins at the Monaco Grand Prix and 5 at the Targa Florio. Back then, Bugatti cars were distinguished by their bright blue bodies, a tradition kept alive to this day. Ettore passed away in 1947, at which point his company ceased operations. It wasn't until 1987 that an Italian entrepreneur acquired the brand and revived the famed automaker. Although Bugatti returned to the spotlight with the EB110, it once again ceased operations in 1995. After that, Volkswagen Group stepped in to finance a third revival of the legendary brand. Returning to Molsheim, Bugatti Automobiles set to designing some of the world's greatest cars. Marking Bugatti's rebirth was this Veyron 16.4. Powered by a 1000 horsepower W16 engine, it is capable of a top speed of 407 km per hour. The Bugatti brand has also made history in the virtual world with the Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo. One model of this car was actually built for Bugatti fans, and was purchased through a secret bid. 2016 saw the unveiling of the Chiron, the successor model to the Veyron. Based on the Vision Gran Turismo model, its W16 engine has been upgraded to 1479.3 brake horsepower. Given that each Bugatti is considered a genuine work of art, you can rest assured that this collection is priceless. Alrighty then. Well, now we know all about Bugatti and like 5 cars they've ever made. Well, in recent years anyway. But let's head back and spin this roulette ticket, see what we get. 6 stars, it's got to be something good. That's how that works, surely. So here we go, 6-star roulette ticket, and it's all engines. I mean, that's alright, I suppose. It depends which one we get. There's some engine swaps I've already done and can't use anymore, which is frustrating when I get those. But anyway, we get the Nissan GTR Nismo engine 2017. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's a good engine. I'll have to see what that is compatible with. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. It's been a fairly long one, but thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Do feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.